In the previous class, ya shabab, we have studied the the exponential equations. Today, inshallah, we will study the logarithmic equation. What they are equations with logarithms, with variable in the logarithm or in the base. How to solve them? One of the main tools is this property, the one-to-one property. When we have log x equals to log y, then x equals to y, because it is one-to-one function. And we need to put to have this form to be able to apply it. Let me ask you here. We need now to solve this equation. So we can use this, but you have to be careful when you use it. You should use it in the right way. Let me ask you this question. So if I said now I have log x squared plus 1 equals to log x minus 2 plus, can I say that? Is this correct? If I did this, is this correct or not?
No, it's not.
Why? This is not correct.
We took it last session.
Because this says log whatever. Let me call it star, for example, equals to log whatever hashtag, for example. It means that this equals to this. Of course, when we have the same base. So here we don't have the case. We have log something equals to log something else plus another log. So we should have here one log, not two logs. Okay. Who said that it is not correct?
Me.
What is your name?
Abdul Malik.
Abdul Malik. Ahsanti Abdul Malik. Okay, so what we should do first, ya shabab, what is the trick that we learned from here, this step, is first of all, we need to combine these by using the laws of logarithm. So what we will do, we will combine these two, the sum of these two logarithms by using the law number 1 that says that log a plus log b equals to log a times b. Okay, this is law number 1. Now we can apply this property now. Here we have log something equals to log something else with the same base. Then the two arguments are the same. If two logarithms are the same, are equal, then their arguments also are equal. Now, of course, this isn't so easy now. It is an algebraic equation. You need to expand here, which will be x squared plus 3 minus 2, it will be plus 1 and negative 6. Now, if you move this x squared to the other side, these will be cancelled. Move 6 to the other side, it will be 7. So this is the solution, x equals to 7. طبعا يا شباب, in the case of the logarithmic equations, it is a must to check. So you must check. Why? We will see that in the next example. So initially, what you need to check, you know, ya shabab, that we said that when you have log a of x, for example, x must be positive. So if you have here any function, let's say h of x, so this h of x must be greater than 0. Always, it should be always positive. So here, when we put instead of x 7, we should have here positive. This is initially, طبعا. So if you put here x equals to 7 here or there, it is positive. This is good. But what you need to do more, you need to check that the left-hand side, which is log. When x is 7, what we have here? 49 plus 1, which is 50. This is the left-hand side. Is it equals to the right-hand side? If you put x equals here to 7, what you will have? Log of 5, 7 minus 2, plus log 7 plus 3, which is 10. What is log 5 plus log 10? It is log 5 times 10, which is 50. So this is equals to this. So it is correct. But most importantly, is the argument positive or negative? Is the base, of course, also positive or negative? Let's take another example. But before that, you need, ya shabab, these guidelines for you to help you. So first of all, you need to isolate the logarithmic term on one side. So you need to put it alone on one side. Then you may, of course, first need to combine the logarithms, like what we did when we have the sum of the logarithms or a product or a difference of logarithms. Then write the equation in the exponential form. Do you remember how to write the algorithm form in the exponential form? When you have, for example, log a of x equals to y. This is the logarithmic form. This is equivalent to the exponential form. What is the exponential form, ya shabab, corresponding to this? X equals to what?
A to the power y.
To the power y. This is the exponential form. هذا هو exponential form. Okay? طبعا this is one way. The another way is to raise the base to the side of the equation. What is that? You can, if you have log a of x equals to y, what you can do? You can raise both sides to the power a. So what you will have a log a of x equals a to the power y. Now, because these are inverses of each other, they will be cancelled, and you will have x equals to a to the power y. So this way or this way, they are the same. Finally, solve the resulting equation. Let's see. Don't forget to check. Let's apply it for these two easy examples. We have here ln x equals to 8. So ln, you know that ln, it is just log e. So here, in fact, we have log e of x equals to 8. So according to this, the exponential form, what is the exponential form for this? X equals to what? E to the power 8. Here it is. This is the solution. Or, so what we did here, we just write it in the exponential form. Or we can what? We can raise both sides to the power e. E to the power both sides. So e to the power ln x, e to the power. Now e and ln, they are inverses of each other. So they will be cancelled, and you have x equals to e to the power 8. Here also we have log 2 of something equals to 3. Again, by the exponential form, shabab, by this form, what we have? 25 minus x, the argument, equals to what? The base 2 to the power 3. And of course, this will give you 8. X will be 25 minus 8. X will be 17. Again, you can check, shabab. Both x equals to 17. Is there any problem? No problem. It's okay. Now, we have now here an example that we don't have only the log. The logarithm here is multiplied by a number. It is added to another number. So we need to isolate the logarithmic term first. So what does that mean? We need this alone on one side. So it looks like we want to solve it for log. So what we will do, we will add -4 for both sides. We will divide both sides by 3 and so on. So here we subtract 4 from both sides, then divide by 3. 12 over 3 is 4. Now, what is the base here, ya shabab? The base here is what? 10. So now we have 2x. 2x equals to what? 10 to the power 4. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, what is 10 to the power 4? It is 10,000. Divide by 2. What is x?
5,000.
5,000. Of course, you can check it, shabab, but it is clearly, of course, is easy to be checked because here you have the base is 10. Don't forget that. And the check is here. I think I did the check for you here. Right-hand side equals to the left-hand side. Now let's take another example with two logarithmic expressions. Again, ya shabab, here before doing anything, you should combine. You should combine these two logs before doing anything else. So the first step is to use the law number 1, which says that log A plus log B equals to log AB, log A times B. So here the base is 10. Now, who can, ya shabab, help me to write this in the exponential form? So now, what is the next step after this? Anyone, ya shabab? What will be
Yes.
x plus 2 times x minus 1 equals to what?
10 over 1.
10 to the power
1.
So because the base here is 10. Yes. طبعا you can, as I told you before, ya shabab, you can do that by two methods. One way is to do this, the exponential form. The another way is to raise both sides to the power 10. So this will be cancelled with this, and you have this equals to 10 to the power 1, which is 10. Thank you. Now, ya shabab, please correct me if I'm wrong. Now we have x plus 2 times x minus 1 equals to 10. Then x plus 2 equals to 10, or x minus 1 equals to 10. Is this correct?
No.
Is this
No.
correct? Who said no?
Yes.
Al-Miqdad,
Me.
why that is not Turkey?
Yes, we do that if it's 0.
You are right. So why we can do that when it is 0 and we cannot do it when it is not 0? Look, when we have a times b equals to 0, two numbers, the product of them is 0, then one of them or both of them must be 0. And this is called, ya shabab, the zero factor property. But when you have two numbers, the product of them is 10, not necessarily that one of them is 10. This might be 2, this might be 5, none of them is 10. Okay? So no need for that. Of course, this is a mistake that 001 students do, but not you. Be careful. Now, what we should do in this case, we should expand here. Multiply x plus 2 by x minus 1, and then move 10 to here. Now you have x squared plus x minus 12 equals to 0. And this is a quadratic equation. Factor it if you can, and I think it is so easy to be factored. If you cannot factor it, you can use the quadratic formula, but no need. It is so easy to be factored. It is x plus 4 times x minus 3. Check your factoring before going further. Now, two terms or two factors, their product is 0, then one of them or both of them must be 0. So the first one is 0. What will happen? If this is 0, what will happen? We will have x equals to -4 and x equals to 3. These are the solutions. If he, for example, asks for the sum of the solutions or the product of the solutions, what is the sum of the solution, Ishabab?
-1.
-1. But the answer is wrong. You will get 0 in this question.
3.
Because you forgot to check. We said, Ishabab,
Yeah.
that you must check. In the logarithmic equations, you must check. So let's check the first one, x equals -4. Is it a solution? Just look here. If you put x equals to -4, what will happen? You will have -4 plus 2, which is -2. Do you know what is log of -2? It is undefined. So if you check x equals to -4, you will get -2, and it is no need to continue. Just when you have it here, خلاص, it is undefined. For 3, it might be also rejected. So what you need to do, put x equals to 3, look what you will have. You will have 5 log 5 and log 10, log 5 plus log 10, 2, which is log 10. Log 10 is 1, so the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. So if he asks here about the sum of the solutions or the product of the solutions, it is 3. It is only one solution. Is that clear, Shabab? So now I think you realized why it is so important to check. You must check. This is all, Shabab, what we have in 4.5. Of course, the summary is here, but we need to do more practice. We will, inshallah, solve also some old exam questions. Yes, let's solve this one together. Please. Take a pen and paper and start to apply the skills that you learned today. The product of solutions of these equations is take a pen and paper and start to practice. Imagine that you are in the exam and this is a question that you want to solve. Ahmed Al-Attar, are you still there?
Yes, doctor.
What is this يا أحمد؟ عشان نعطي hint لزملائك. This is of course to make it so easy. What is log A of 1?
0.
ليش؟ You are right. Log A of x equals to y. إيش معناه هذا يا أحمد؟ Log A of x equals to y معناه أن الx تساوي a to the power y. Is that right? أو بمعنى آخر a to the power y equals x. You can do it this way or this way. It is okay. إذا هل شيك الحين هل a to the power 0 equals 1?
Yes.
Yes, you're right. So يا شباب, thank you Ahmed. So as a hint يا شباب, this term is 0. لذلك هذه الجزئية يا شباب, it is from 4.3 ومن 4.4 يعني it is so clear. فإذا هذا الترم disappear, it is 0. It is just kind of trick here. أول شغلة ساعدكم فيها أحمد. Now إيش المشكلة؟ في عندنا مشكلة ثانية كمان يا شباب، إيش هي؟
Bases are different.
Bases are different. Yes, we have here one base that is different. This one. This is the one that is different. So first of all, you need to make the bases the same. You need to unify the bases. And how to do that? 4.4, the change of base formula. So this is why, Shabab, our next quiz will be about 4.3, 4.4, and 4.5, because I can give you one question, only one question that can cover these three sections. Okay. Let me remind you about the change of base formula. We said that log b of x equals to log a of x over log a of b. Also, I told you that log 1 over a of x equals to negative log a of x. This will save your time. Indeed, it comes from here. And if you apply it, you will see this. Also, I told you that log a to the power m of x, it is 1 over m. You can apply also this one. This one also, it comes from here. So this is the most general formula, and this one, then this one, and this one, it is a special case. It is special case from the last one. So here we have log 7 of x minus 1. What we will have here, Shabab? What will be log 7, log 1 over 7? Who can tell me?
It will be log of base 7 of x plus 1 over log 7 of 1 over 7.
What is it at the end? You are right. طيب استخدم هاي. انت استخدمت هاي يا عبد الملك.
Yes.
هاي واضح استخدموا هاي واضح, ما تحتاج لها كلامها.
Yes, and then it will become negative.
هذه هي يا شباب. ال A هنا ب 7, فهذه نيجاتيف, هذه النيجاتيف log of 7, وهي جايه من اللي قلت انت عليه يا عبد الملك. اذا الحين يا شباب هنا عندنا نيجاتيف, it will be plus negative times negative is positive log 7 of x plus 1. Now the base is 7, بدل ما كان 1 over 7 بس الاشاره تغيرت من نيجاتيف الى بوزيتيف. هذا قلنا خلاص it is 0, and here it is the same base. We have log 7 of 2x minus 1. لو كانت يا شباب هذه مثلا لو كانت هذه 14 sorry 49, يعني ايش ال 49 هي 7 to the power 2. كنا راح نستخدم اللي قلت لكم عليها اول اللي هي log a to the power m equals to 1 over m. So كنا راح نقول هي 1 over 2 log 7. Okay. There are many exercises and all the exam questions like that. Okay. Now I think يا شباب you are ready to continue. خلاص الآن it is like the examples that we solved. Continue please. If you have an answer you can raise your hand. A or B or C or D or E. If you have an answer you can tell me, but raise your hand. You can now continue يا شباب. It is so easy. Please يا شباب practice. Pen and paper and start to practice. Al-Miqdad, yes, Al-Miqdad, what is your answer? A or B or C or D or E?
D.
E. Okay, we will see if it is E. So we have one
D,
answer for
Mr. D.
D. It's D.
Yeah, I
D.
think so. D.
I
D,
said
okay.
D.
We have 2 votes for D.
3, Mister. Not 4.
3. Yeah.
3. We have also for C.
Mister, I'm saying there are 3 votes for the answer D, not.
Okay. Now the next step, Shabab, is to combine these. Combine these. This will be log 7 of x minus 1 times x plus 1 equals to log 7 of 2x minus 1. Now here, ya Shabab, we have the same log, the same base. So now the arguments are the same. What is this argument? This is just x squared minus 1 equals to 2x minus 1. Is that right?
Yeah.
X squared minus 1. And of course, this will be x squared minus 2x. This negative 1 will go with that negative 1. And we have now, we need to take it as a common factor, x. So we have x minus 2 equals to 0, x equals to 0, or x equals to 2. So we have 2 solutions. The product of them, what is the product of 0 and 2? It is 0. So the answer must be B.
No,
Is that
0
right?
undefined.
What do you mean by undefined? 0 is not a solution, you mean?
Yeah.
Aha, you are right. Ya Shabab, this is a logarithmic equation, so we must check. So now don't forget to check. بعضكم من الفرح ما يصدق إنه وصل للحل يقول oh I'm so lucky so I got the answer so 0 times 2 is 0. No. Check, Ya Shabab. Both x equals to 0 here. What will happen? You will have
minus 1.
7 of negative 1 and it is undefined. So this is not a solution. So this solution, this is not a solution. So it is rejected. So, or you can say it is not a solution, not a solution at all. So we have only one solution. No, you need also to check. You need to check both x equals to 2. It will be 2 minus 1, 1. Log 1 is 0. طبعا you can just make it to at the beginning. Is it negative? No. Is it negative? No. So this is good. Now you can continue and check. This is 0, we said from the beginning. And of course, you must show that the right-hand side equals to the left-hand side. And we have only one solution here. Of course, it will be because in the choices, there is no option that there is no solution. So the answer is D, and you were right.
Mister, isn't it A because the product is 4?
Product of what?
We shouldn't
It's
multiply.
one solution only. We have
Okay.
one, it is x, it is equal to 2. It is not repeated. It is not a repeated solution.
Okay.
Okay. So here we are. Now, I think, Shabab, it is important to mention this. We still have time, inshallah. It is important to mention this, ya Shabab. It is not in your book, by the way, but I found it very important for you to have an idea about it. The exponential inequalities. So you know when you have a to the power x equals to a to the power y, this is equivalent to x equals to y. This is so easy. Now, if it is inequality, if it is less than or greater than, طبعا, okay? Let's take the less than, it is the same idea. Now, if it is the same, if ax less than a to the power y, then x is less than 1. Y. This is if a greater than 1, it is the same. But if a between 0 and 1, it will be greater than, the opposite. Because this one, Shabab, is increasing and this one is decreasing. This is the reason. And you can't check the graphs. The graph of the first one is like this. The graph of the second one is like this. We can use this, Shabab, now to solve 4.3. Look at this question. This question is from 4.3. The graph of the function is below the line y equals 3. يعني انت ايش راح تسوي؟ راح يكون هذا هو اللاين y equals to 3. You will sketch the graph, whatever the graph is, and you will see where it is below this line. Here it is below. From where to where? So you can sketch the graph, and this is not difficult. You can sketch the graph like it is similar to the graph. In fact, the graph that you have today in the quiz is easier than this. Now, what you will do, you can do the graph, and this is 4.3. But there is a better way. You know, ya shabab, this is the line y equals 3. Below, it means here. Below, it means that the y, here y is equals to 3. Here y is less than 3. Here y is greater than 3. So what we will do, we will just put y less than 3. What is y? This is y. So we will solve just this inequality. This inequality. And we will use this idea to solve it. But you have, ya shabab, here to always consider where is x, what is x, what is the domain of the function. The domain of the function, because it is exponential, is all the real numbers. So no need to worry about anything. This is just important when you have a domain that is not all the real numbers. Good. Now, khalas ya shabab, what you need to do, you need to solve it as an exponential inequality. You need to isolate it. So what you will do, you will add 4 to, or subtract 4 from both sides. Then you will multiply by negative. Be careful here, because it is inequality. When you multiply by negative, it will be, instead of less than, it will be greater than. Now what we have 2 to the power 3 minus x greater than 1. Now we will apply this idea, but here we need a base. 1, indeed, this one, it is just 2 to the power 0. So now we have the same basis, so this is greater than. Or you can just think about it this way. Take log 2 of both sides. So this will be cancelled with this, and log 2 is what? Log 1 is 0 for anything, so it is 3x minus x greater than 0. You can do it in several ways, the same as you do for equations. Now, 2 to the power 3 minus x greater than 1, this one, it is 2 to the power 0. So this means that this is greater than 0. Why we did that? We applied this branch, the first one. Because a here is greater than, this is a, it is greater than 1. If it is less than 1, it will be less than. Be careful about that. Now, just move x to this side, so it will be 3 greater than x. So this means that x is less than 3. So from negative infinity to 3. Look, no need to sketch the graph, no need to do anything. The another way is to sketch the graph. By the way, shabab, even if you sketch the graph, you need to solve this equation. You need to solve to find the intersection point. So you need to do all what we did, but with equal. This is also one option. Clear? Now, which one you will prefer? I think this one is good, ya shabab, but you need to be careful when you use it. The same for logarithmic inequalities. When you have log x minus log x less than log y, this implies that x is less than y if a greater than 1. Of course, these are positive quantities. And it is greater than if a less than 1 greater than. Let's apply it for this. Again, you can sketch the graph, shabab. This is also 4.3. You can sketch the graph. By the way, this is 4.3, but the previous one, by the way, it was 4.2. I forget. This is not 4.3. This is 4.1 and 2. I think I should correct this. Now, 4.3, this question. You can sketch the graph, but instead of sketching the graph, we can solve it algebraically. Below the x-axis, it means what? Y is less than 0, because this is the x-axis. In the x-axis, we have y equals to 0. Here, it is y less than 0. Here, y greater than 0. So what we will do, we will put this less than 0. But you have to be careful. Y is less than 0, but x is in the domain of the function. So the question is, what is the domain of this function? We have logarithmic function. What is the domain of the logarithmic functions? When you have a logarithmic function, the domain is all the values of x for which the argument is greater than 0. So here we are. This is y. And the domain is what is inside log here? The absolute value of x minus 3 greater than 0. 0, 0, 1, ya shabab, 0, 0, 1. What is the solution of this inequality? Who can tell me? What are the values of x that makes this inequality true? Absolute value.
Minus infinity to 3.
Sorry?
From minus infinity to 3, from 3 to infinity, without 3. Can't choose 3.
So it is easier to say all the real numbers except 3. This is what you meant? Yes.
Yes.
You're right. So all the real numbers except 3. Yeah, Shabab, any number here you will put it because we have absolute value. It will be positive. The problem that it will be 0. This means what? When you say the absolute value of x is greater than 0, it means it is not less than 0 and not equals to 0. Not negative, of course it is not negative because it is absolute value. This is so easy. But it is not 0, it will be 0, it is at 3. So according to that, this means x is not 3. Okay, Shabab. So now what we will do, we will just say, we will move one to this side to isolate it. Now we will apply this way. Log 3 of absolute value of x. What is 1? 1, it is log 3 of 3. Why log 3 of 3? Because here we have the same base. Now you have log this less than log 3, then this is less than 3. Check, is the base greater than 1? If it is less than 1, it will be the opposite. Now this is an absolute value inequality. Solve it. It will be x minus 3 between negative 3 and 3, and the x is not 3. And add 3 for both sides. It will be x between 0 and 6. And the x is not 3. So it will be from 0 to 3, because 3 is here. It is inside this interval. So it will be from 0 to 3 and then from 3 to 6. Which answer is the right answer? It is also D. Is that clear, Shabab? I think this is enough, and I will take the remaining 5 minutes to talk about or to introduce you to section 5.1 to chapter 5. Let me close this. Yes, Shabab, there are many old exam questions that you need to practice in this section. Where is chapter 5? Here we are. Can you see now the slides of chapter 5?
Yes.
Chapter 5, Shabab, is an interesting chapter. Now, it is about trigonometric functions. Okay? We have, by the way, chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7, and even chapter 9. They are all about trigonometric functions and their application. We have here 3 sections, Shabab. Yes.
هي اللي هي الدوال المثلثية الساين والكوساين.
Yes, بالضبط. Yes, trigonometric functions, they are what you are talking about. So we have here 3 sections, Shabab. طبعا the 4th section will be studied together with 6.5 at the end of chapter 6. So forget about it. So what we need to finish these 3 sections, Shabab, this week, and we will take a quiz on them, inshallah, next week. So let's start with 5.1. Indeed, where is 5.1? Why it is gone? Where is the objectives? It looks like here it is. Let me just move this to this side because we need to know what we have in this section. So in this section, Shabab, what we have and what we will study. So this section is about the angle measure. What is the angle measure? What are the angles in the standard position? And how to find the length of a circular arc, and how to find the angular speed and the linear speed, the circular motion. So let's start with this. What is this, Shabab? This is a line. What is this? This one. This one is called a segment, which is apart from the line. And the last one is called a ray. So what is the angle? The angle, you know, this is the angle. What is it? It is, in fact, a mathematical object or a geometrical object that consists of two rays with a common vertex here. Okay? So the angle has 2 sides. This one, it is called the initial, and the one that is moved in this way, or this way, it is called the terminal, the final, the terminal side. This is the initial side, this is the terminal side. If the angle, if the terminal side going this way, we call it positive angle. because it is in the counterclockwise. If it is with the direction of the clockwise, it is clockwise direction or rotation, we call it, if it is this way, we call it negative angle. So again, this is the initial side, this is the terminal side, and this is the vertex. You can call the angle by its vertex, or by its, like O, you can say the angle O, or you can say the angle A or B, or B or A. Doesn't matter. Now, what is the measure of the angle? What is the angle measure? Yani how? Because this angle is not the same as this angle, is not the same as this angle. Okay. So what is the measure of the angle? The measure of the angle, ya shabab, is the amount of rotation of the terminal side, the amount of rotation of this. How far R2 is from R1? How the amount of opening? You can think about it like how much the angle opens. Is it open widely or so? The question is how to measure this amount. Okay, there are mainly two types of measures for angles. The first one is the degree measure. What is the degree measure? In fact, it is like I think Greek people, they invent this kind of measure. So a complete rotation of a ray, if you have a ray that made this ray, it made a complete full rotation until it goes back to its initial place. A complete rotation rays gives a measure of 36 degrees. Why 36, ya shabab? No one knows indeed. They divide this circle into 360 parts. Why they choose this number? Most probably, ya shabab, because they use the same number of the days of the year. At that time, they count the days of the year to be 360, so they use this number. And of course, the mathematicians, after that, they found that this number is a very magical number, and it is so easy, and they, of course, continue with that. We will continue also, inshallah, this section next class. See you tomorrow, inshallah. If you have any questions, ya shabab, before